Okay, the first thing you need to do is go to MiSTerFPGA.org and find the link to the MiSTer FPGA wiki. On the right hand side, you will see the setup guide. Click on that and scroll down till you see step 1, download the latest version from the releases page. So click on that and click on MiSTer Fusion and save that file. While that's happening, let's go to tweaking for all and download the Apple II Pi Baker, or Apple Pi Baker, I should say. So in the search, actually, just go to Pages and click on Downloads, particularly. Let's go to Downloads. Scroll down until you find Raspberry Pi here. And the version we want is Apple II Pi Baker version 2. Click on that. Save it. Now when we go, we've got our two files. We need to install the Apple II Pi Baker. Apple Pi Baker. How can you tell I have a retro machine? And all you need to do is drag it into your applications folder. I've already done this, so I'm not going to actually run it or copy it. But I'll go to my applications folder and I'll look for the Apple Pi Baker. There it is. Now we need to, now I've already set this up, so you might get a warning telling you need to set certain items in your preferences. Do as it says and you'll get access. So now I'm going to select the disk, got to click on the icon, and I'm going to look for my 16 gig card. Here's a warning that you might get. Now I've already set this up and I don't know why I continue to get it. So if you have set it up and then you don't get this link here, this is just to remove the card if you chose the wrong one. And put it back in. And now I'm going to click on the file to transfer to the disk. There's the MiSTer Fusion. We don't even have to unzip it. Click open. And it starts doing its job. And it takes about 3 minutes to create the image. Well, perhaps I was a little wrong about how quickly that image takes to make. So anyway, it's done. Now we need to put that SD card into the MiSTer FPGA. This screen is from my HDMI capture device. When there's no sync, it shows that screen. And the first time I booted the MiSTer, I didn't get any screen. I waited a couple of minutes, then I rebooted, and then I got the MiSTer Fusion screen, indicating that things are going well. So after it does its work, it will automatically reboot. And if you get this screen, everything is awesome, but you don't have any cores. So first thing you need to do is set up your Wi-Fi. If you have a Wi-Fi dongle, or if you have Ethernet, you can just plug your Ethernet card in. Go to Scripts, choose Wi-Fi, and enter your Wi-Fi credentials. Now, after it finished saving, I restarted my MiSTer, and then you'll see the little Wi-Fi symbol show up, indicating you have internet. So now go to the scripts and choose the update script, and this will take quite some time. I can't remember exactly how long it was, but it was a long time. So once all of the cores are in, it will automatically reboot, and you'll be able to see all the categorized cores for you. Now you won't be able to do much because you're going to need to get the ROMs for each individual computer and arcade machine, and look at the wiki to figure out how to do that. But let me show you my MiSTer system. I have a lot of customization to my MiSTer. You can see I've got a background, but let me show you some of the cores that we can run. So the first thing I'm going to do is run an Amiga, and the core is called Minimig. And I don't have anything to really show you on the Amiga, but here it is, it's running. So let's go back in time to 1979, and let's boot up an Atari 800. Now my system audio for MiSTer on the recording is out of sync, and it gets worse as we go along in this video. It's just not that way on the actual MiSTer system. So there's the Atari 800. Now let's switch cores. Let's switch to the Commodore 64. Probably the hardest thing about all these cores is the keyboard layouts. You have to memorize where the keys are actually located. The next core we're going to run is the Jupiter Ace. This is an interesting machine. I think it was in the 80s that it's, instead of having BASIC as its main language, it had Forth. Ah, straining my memory. I knew it was dot quote. Let's boot up a Mac Plus now. And now we have a happy Mac. let's go back to the 1980s and let's fire up an Apple IIe, another Apple product. What's nice about the MiSTer system is there's some cores that you would never expect to see on here. For example, I'm going to boot up a PDP-1, and I think I have it pre-configured to start up Space War. This is a game that they used to play using a oscilloscope, if I remember correctly. There are other old systems here that you wouldn't expect to see on here. For example, let's boot up an Altair 8088. Or 8080, pardon me. Altair 8800. I'll get it right eventually. There are lots of 8s. I think you use your joystick to flip the actual switches, and I don't have it currently attached. Let's move into a little bit more in the future and start up an Amstrad. And in my final demonstration, I will boot up a DOS-based system, a 46 core. I'll just attach a couple of hard disks and just boot to DOS. The MiSTer system is it's fantastic. You can have so many hours of enjoyment, and you don't have to fill a room up with all of this vintage equipment. At least it makes my wife happy. I would rather have the actual equipment itself, but now I have the option of having my retro programming options without actually filling up the room with all the equipment. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.